Hello, I'm Ginny Wall and I'm Breathworks Head of Programmes. I'm going to take you through our guidance for keeping your teacher training diaries. So there's going to be 3 times that you'll be asked to submit reflective diaries: in preparation for TTI, your introductory teacher training event, in preparation for your mindful movement weekend, and in preparation for TTA, your advanced teacher training. So first of all, just to explain why we ask you to keep the meditation diaries. So they're basically a way of getting you to familiarise yourself with the breathworks practices and approach, but to really externalise your reflections about them, which we find really help people to deepen their understanding. And it also gives your personal mentor a way of reflecting with you on your experience. And obviously, when you're going to be working in the future with people in your courses who are suffering with pain, stress, and so on, then you're going to be inviting them to work with their experience in a certain kind of way. And in order to do that effectively, you have to practice doing that with your own experience. So, yeah, it's really about getting out of the theory and into your own practice. Because often our sort of unconscious habits can be really quite strongly rooted, and it takes a while of practice to bring them into awareness and work with them. So, just in the way that we'll be encouraging our course participants to become aware of their own discomfort, move towards it with kindness rather than resisting or hardening against it, then we have to practice doing the same ourselves. So writing those diaries is a way of making that stuff, that experience of ours, objective and something that we can reflect on. So it's really important to say that the diaries aren't an assessment of your competence or of whether you can track every single sensation or feeling or thought in your meditation experience. It's much more an opportunity to practice reflection and self-inquiry with the support of another experienced practitioner, your personal mentor, so that you can develop the skills that you're going to be able then to build on when you're inquiring into the experience of your future course participants. Confidentiality is important. So the only people who'll be reading your diary is your personal mentor and other trainers or program team members who are supporting your training process along the way. As I said, they'll be the basis of the one-to-one conversations that you'll have with your mentor. And once your training's complete, then your diaries will be deleted or returned to you if you've given us hard copies. So we provide you with templates to help you complete the necessary elements of your diaries. You don't have to use the templates, but you may find them quite helpful, at least to refer to remind yourself of what the required meditations or elements are. So when you're doing meditation or mindful movement diaries, please try and write at least a paragraph for each meditation practice that you do, but not more than a page for each day. Please type the entries if you can. It's a lot easier for us to read them than if you handwrite them. And if you have particular learning needs or exceptional circumstances, which mean that writing is particularly difficult for you, then do talk to us, because we can accept voice recordings on occasions. So please submit your diaries at least 4 weeks before the start of the event that they're linked to, and submit them direct to your personal mentor. And they'll then have a look at your diaries and arrange a time to talk them through, or you may decide that you want to do a sort of email conversation about them, preferably before the relevant training event if possible. And then what to write? Well, after listening to the guided practice and doing the practice itself, then try to describe what your experience was. So there'll be physical sensations, perhaps feelings of warmth, coolness, tingling. You can feel contact between your body and the chair or the air around you, pleasant or unpleasant experiences, and noticing any reactions that you had. And then doing the same with emotional states. What did you experience? Perhaps it was difficult to find words to describe some of the emotions, but you might be able to use imagery or concepts. Were they pleasant or unpleasant? Perhaps you noticed where they connected with sensations in the body, and again, how you responded. Thoughts, were you able to watch them arising and letting them go, or did you get completely caught up in them? If you did, how did you respond to that? What was your attitude to yourself? You can write about the content of your thoughts, but probably good not to get too hooked up in the story of them. It was more just noticing patterns. Were there particular kinds of thoughts that were really taking your attention? and even maybe thoughts about the process of the practice or the keeping of the diary. That's not unusual. You can note those down too. And then working with what actually turns up. So one of the things that can be really helpful is noticing whether you're blocking or resisting experience or clinging on to it, getting caught up in the story or the content of thoughts. And also then, if there was unpleasant experience, how you were able to turn towards that. Were you able to bring some curiosity to it and a sense of compassion? Or was that difficult to do? And what was that like for you? So trying to be really honest about each of these sort of layers of experience and response. And don't worry that if you're too honest in your diaries that your trainer or your mentor will fail you. That's really unlikely. It's much more that it gives us a way of connecting in with the practice where you need to perhaps build confidence or where things are working well for you. So it's really just about giving us a way of working together on helping you to become a more aware and self-reflective practitioner who can then go on to become an effective teacher. So for your TTI, the diaries you need to do are the Mindfulness for Health meditation diaries. Okay, so which meditations? These are the ones, all 6 meditations from the Mindfulness for Health program. So the body scan, breathing anchor, compassionate acceptance, treasure of pleasure, open heart, and connection. If you originally did the online Mindfulness for Health course, bear in mind that they may have had different names, these meditations, at the time that you did that course, but they're the same meditations. So just connect in with these names that we're using throughout the training. You can use the CD in the back of the Mindfulness for Health book or the recordings given to you if you participate in a face-to-face health course. You'll also find them on SoundCloud. There's a link to the address there on SoundCloud. And you need to do each meditation for 3 or 4 consecutive days, meditating twice a day. So that means you're going to do each of these 6 meditations at least 6 times each, and then proceed through in the order. It allows us to see how you're building through the process of the course, because these meditations really lead on one from another. Okay, so that's the end. I'll just stop sharing my screen there. There we go. So if you have any queries about any of that, please do talk to your personal mentor about it, or you can drop us a line on info@breathworks.co.uk. I hope you found that helpful. Of course, you can also raise any questions during your online orientation workshop. And I wish you all the best with your practice and with your training with us. Take care. Bye for now.